So, hello and welcome to everybody. I want to welcome you today to Vital, Vivacious, and Visible After 50. And I have two wonderful guests today. I'm going to start by saying that whether you're on the A list or the Z list, everybody loves a bargain. And these ladies are the experts. I want to welcome Jen and Pippa from Two Cheap Blondes. I love the name of your website. And for anybody who's going to go to those websites, it's spelled TWO, Cheap
No,
Blondes.
no, TOO.
I'm sorry.
TOO, not TWO. You won't like the results on that
Thank
one.
you.
That's a completely different. That's a completely different result.
Well, when I post it, I'm going to write it out correctly. So,
Okay.
okay. So I have some wonderful questions, some questions for you today. First of all, how did you both get started in this?
You know, Pippa and I both had our own separate blogs about thrifting. Mine was more vintage, inspired. That's where I kind of would just search out for vintage clothing. And Pippa's was more of outfitting her teenage children. She has four
Oh,
teenagers
oh
from
my
the thrift
gosh.
store. And we met in the line at a Goodwill. I had been in the newspaper previous weekend. She recognized me, struck up a conversation, and we went out to lunch the next week, and we've been thrifting for the last 3 years ever since that meeting. Yeah, we immediately hit it off.
And so, how did you learn about what to look for?
I think it's a lot of trial and error. We just have probably looked at 500,000 pieces of clothing over the last 3 years, and really, truly, and you just learn to absolutely pick out a high quality fabric, natural fabrics like silks or wools or cotton, and you can really just notice whenever you're coming across a polyester and you just skip past it because usually that's not going to be your high end, high quality clothing. And you look for things that are going to stand out, a tag that's unique. And again, you can start to feel the quality of the fabrics.
Uh-huh. That's always a big one. Texture really tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
And it's not just, I mean, I think you guys should write this book called Finding Gold at the Goodwill because I think that's what this is about. But it's not just the Goodwill. I mean, in many cities now, some of the vintage shops, there's a lot of women who are unloading really high quality things that they've hardly worn. And
Right.
some of them are actually new. Isn't that, do you find that?
We do. We find all the time a lot of clothing that it still has brand new with tags still on it. And it's kind of a rule of ours. We pretty much don't buy anything unless it looks like it hasn't been worn. We never
Oh,
buy anything that looks like it comes from a thrift store. It either has tags on it or you can tell it has been worn once and dry cleaned. I mean, it has to be in perfect condition for us to buy it.
yeah, that was going to be my question is that what what makes you say yes immediately and when you see something, how do you reject it? I mean, okay, so say it's not brand new, but say it looks pretty good. What are the things that would immediately have you say no?
I would say stains, pretty much, or snags or tears or holes. And you know what? There are some stains that you can correct, but obvious flaws is definitely an immediate no. And then also we try to really recreate current trends. So we look for, even if something's older, if it's a quality timeless piece, it works forever.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Vital, Vivacious, and Visible After 50. And I am beyond delighted to welcome our guest today, George Brusha. And George is the author of this fabulous book, Change Your Clothes,
Oh,
Change
yeah.
Your Life, because you can't go naked. He's a best-selling author. He's a regular contributor to the Today Show, and he's been on all the daytime shows, and he's also the red carpet analyst for the Tonys, so which I think is so exciting. So welcome, George.
Wow, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for being here. So, I want to just launch into some questions because women my age have a lot of issues about how to move forward in our wardrobe. And you talk about the way we present ourselves and how well we keep our clothes says a lot about us. Talk a little bit about that, the fit, the color, the fabric, the pattern. What does that say about someone?
Well, I think that, it's important that you have clothing in your wardrobe that is about you and clothing that speaks to what you want to say to the world. I call it in my book the secret language of clothing. Your clothing speaks before you do, so you might as well have it say to the world what you want to say about yourself. Because when we see someone walking down the street, or we bump into them at a store or at an event, we make a judgment like that about what we see. And so you want to make sure that you are giving off what you want to, and it happens whether you want it to or not. So that's what I really talk about in this book, because a lot of people will say, well, I don't care what other people think. Well, the fact of the matter is that it's happening. Even though you don't care about what they think, it's how you feel about yourself. And
That's right.
that's the kind of vibrations that you give off. And that's how people are going to treat you. And that's kind of what you bring into your life. As far as the clothing, it's about clothing that looks good on you for your hair color, for your skin tone, for your eye color. We always want to throw a light up on your face. We want you to be illuminated. The compliment that you want to hear is, "Oh my God, you look so beautiful in that jacket and that scarf and that sweater. It just makes you look wonderful." Not, "Oh, I love your scarf. I love your jacket." Who
Mm,
cares? If it doesn't look good on you, it doesn't matter. And I think, especially as a woman starts to get older, I think that she really has to become much more aware of these things, because we do get older, and let's just say nature is not kind sometimes. And so we want to wear clothing that's going to make us look and feel wonderful, throw light up on our face, make us look young. A lot of women, really go to black, right? We always hear that. "Oh, I wear so much black, I wear so much black." And black, as you get older, can drain you.
I
It just
agree.
drains you. You want to throw neutrals and color. And that's why, I mean, you could just talk about it forever, which is what I do, of course. But it's really interesting. And so the bottom line is, back to your question specifically, is that the clothing in your closet should say everything about you that you want it to say, and should complement you so that you are looking and feeling your very best.
Yeah, amen. I couldn't agree with you more.
Why don't you show us some of the things you have and bring them over to the screen so we can hear you talk?
So, okay, so one of the categories that I do really well with are basically boucle jackets, which are originally, obviously, inspired by the great Coco Chanel and how she designed these beautiful boucle jackets that women wore. And I have always liked that look. I think they look great with jeans, like you said, or with black pants. So I started doing a lot of boucle jackets, and they became a really big hit. So every season now, we do a variety of boucle jackets, and they sell out very quickly, and I have to come up with another one. So this is,
Yeah, that's a very Chanel type jacket. And
yeah.
then there's the blazer.
And then I also have blazers, that are made of, or the one that I'm wearing, that are made of classic fabrics, like, like I would use houndstooth or herringbone, things that are classic and never go out of style. And so I always carry those as well. And every season we have a variety of blazers that we do. And sometimes it's just a little touch, like a little gold button, the little stripe lining inside, how you fold the sleeves up. These little things make all the difference in wearing a jacket with, your outfit. And all of a sudden it transforms it from being just a boring jacket into something more trendy and fun.
Right.
I also do novelty pieces like lace and
Ooh,
things like that. 'Cause during summer, a lot of jackets, a lot of women don't wear jackets, so they think, oh, they can't wear jackets. But honestly, there are little lace jackets or little really lightweight jackets that you can still wear during summer and look great. So never think that you can't wear jackets during spring or summer, because you can. And remember also that there's air conditioning everywhere inside, so jackets are always essential even during summer. So those are
yeah, I was looking at that one too. Oh, fun.
stripe that I just did for this spring. Yeah, it's a striped jacket, so the stripes are a little bold, but they are very flattering because it's a vertical stripe. It looks good on everybody. And then I also have like a classic, another kind of like a herringbone plaid classic blazer that you could wear something like this to the office, and then you can wear the same thing with jeans and high heel sandals and maybe a sexy black camisole underneath and go to dinner. So that's why I think a lot of blazers, women think of blazers as, oh, it's an office look. But it doesn't have to be an office look, because you could really also wear it out and make it funky by accessorizing it with a big, bold necklace or a sexy top, or even over a really nice dress, and go out. And they still work for many, many occasions. So don't think of it as just for work or career, or it's too stuffy or boring, because they're not. It just depends so much on how you
So
style it.
talk a little bit about that struggle. How did you learn to love yourself? What were the challenges and how did you overcome it?
Oh, it's probably too much to talk about the whole thing in this time, but just briefly, as a child, and I put up a picture on Facebook today of me age 6, and with my adult eyes, I can look at that child and know that she was beautiful. But from a very young age, I didn't believe I was beautiful. I believed I was overweight, and I wasn't, but I believed I was. And I think that was a key to becoming very overweight in my adult life. But through various circumstances, I never really believed in myself. And this resulted in quite a few mental health issues throughout my life and through my marriage. And then when I was, I'd say, mid-40s, I started to get sick. And I'm sure that there's a link between I know there's a link between your mental health and your physical health, but circumstances, of course, also come to play. And within 18 months, I was diagnosed with 5 different autoimmune conditions, which really made life a bit of a struggle. So here I was in a bad marriage that was falling apart, trying to deal with all these illnesses. And I had to find something, and this is where my book begins, because I had to find something, some grain of something. When I do speaking, sometimes I talk about, when you're on the bottom of the pool and finally your feet touch the bottom, and you have 2 choices. You can crumple or you can push off the bottom of the pool and you can rise up. And I'd say it's probably through friendship and obviously my own strength and resilience that I did push off the bottom of the pool. And it was a journey. I subsequently had a complete breakdown because I was just trying to deal with too much for too long. And that's probably the point where I was mostly in bits and pieces. But through friendship again, and a specific friend of mine, Bev, I'll give her a mention, she helped me to put myself together again. And it was hard, but I did it. And I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. And I have this idea of changing my life one word at a time, which became part of it. And also turning 50. I think turning 50 is like kind of a big thing, because you kind of think, what now? I've just turned 50, what now? And it was just after turning 50 that I started my blog, because I just thought to myself, I'm just not prepared to, I'm feeling the best I felt in my whole life, and I'm not prepared to give up. And my blog was kind of born out of the idea that no matter what happens, you've got your mental health struggles, you've got bad marriage breakups, you've got all these health issues, but you can still find that kernel of fabulousness. And I was doing my journal this morning and sort of journaling about how happy I am. And somebody else might look at my life and think, oh my goodness, she's got this wrong and that wrong and this wrong. But I found that place to be happy. And I think when you're happy, you start to become fabulous.